UCSD senior Destiny Okoronkwo started worrying in early May. Protests against the war in Gaza had been building on campuses across the country for months. Then, she got a call from her brother, a student at USC. He told her USC's main graduation had just been canceled because of the protest encampment on that campus.
So as soon as I heard that, I called him. I was like, how could they do that? Especially as someone who didn't have like a high school graduation, because I was class of 2020, I was a bit fearful that they would take away like our grad. Because I was like, damn, not again.
A week later, UCSD canceled its popular Sun God Music Festival. At this point, UCSD senior Jenny Toe was sharing Okoronkwo's fear.
And it would have been a shame just because, it for a lot of us, for a lot of the class of 2024, it would have been our first time walking on a stage because 4 years ago it was kind of the height of the pandemic. So a lot of us didn't really get to graduate high school either.
In May, UCSD became a hotspot for protests and demonstrations. Some students marched with signs on campus and in front of the chancellor's home. They also spoke out on social media and participated in a large on-campus encampment. On May 6, police shut down the encampment and made a number of arrests. Despite the unrest, graduation ceremonies will be held this weekend, albeit under tight security. But all the turmoil has left Toe feeling ambivalent, especially because the university might not allow some students involved in the encampment to walk at graduation.
This is just me, but I think the whole situation has made me a little bit apathetic towards graduating in the first place. I think any source of, maximal pride that a student could feel going through that type of ceremony, it's definitely been dampened by the events of the past month and the months before it.
In a statement to KPBS, a UCSD spokesperson defended the university's actions against protesters. The statement said the encampment violated campus policy and the law and grew to pose unacceptable risk to the safety of the campus community. Everyone on campus has been impacted by the protests and the university's response, even in the classroom.
And I was in class, I could hear them like walking around, chanting, doing that whole sort of thing. Free, free Palestine! And I feel like since then, the protests have been like pretty consistent on social media. I always see like flyers talking about like when the new protests are, like what times, like when everyone is meeting.
Okoronkwo added that professors broached the topic of demonstrations on campus differently. Some encouraged students to demonstrate, others allowed discussions in class, and some acted like nothing was happening.
I had a few professors who were straight up like, hey guys, this big protest is happening. You guys should attend. Just very, supportive. And then I had other professors just like not mention it at all.
But through it all, Toe says she's noticed a sense of community that wasn't there before.
I think particularly this year, you see a huge, particularly undergrad movement where people are making the active choice to learn about what's happening on campus because it's not always that you have a movement that provokes so much kind of conflict, violence, but also at the same time solidarity and kind of care for your peers.
Okoronkwo agreed, saying UCSD's campus environment has undergone a significant shift.
Honestly, especially because I studied like UCSD during COVID, so the environment on campus was like very dead. And to be honest, being like a fourth year, just honestly like looking back at everything, I feel like I could understand when people call us like UC socially dead because I feel like there really is no like school spirit. There's no like unity, no togetherness. It honestly changed like this past year, kind of seeing everyone like come together and stuff, which is great.
Now, Toe, Okoronkwo, and their peers are bidding farewell to their undergrad experience. One thing that they can say for sure, it won't be forgotten. Katerina Portela, KPBS News.